Hello there, YouTube. Today we're going to be watching a POV of 𝐂𝐻𝐻, the fur monster. Why, you may ask? Well, it's pretty much rumored, not entirely confirmed, that 𝐻𝐻 is going to be retiring here in early 2023, or at least taking an extended break. Looks like JOTA from MIBR is going to be taking his spot on this Imperial roster. Decided to do a little bit of a throwback VOD, if you can call it a throwback. It was Antwerp, first major of 2022. 𝐻𝐻 in this Mirage game absolutely smurfed on Cloud9. He went like 25 kills, like single digit deaths, like something insane like that. So you know, a little throwback, a little homage to 𝐻𝐻. Figured we'd chill, watch one of his VODs where he just, 𝐻𝐻 monster. He's done a lot in this game. He's been around for a long time. Took the break, came back. He was still a beast. Definitely one of those legendary Brazilian players. Definitely should be spoken in the same breath as Fallen, Taco, 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒, FNX. 𝐻𝐻, I think pretty old at this point. Might be like 30 years old, but he's still got it, man. This dude is still crisp in the server, but he's got nothing else to prove either, really. I mean, I can see why he would make the decision to potentially step down from competing. Could probably do streaming, content, pretty much whatever he wanted if he still wanted to make some paper in the CSGO scene. Certainly put in his due, put in his hours on the server. Look at that, just chopping down 𝐂𝐻𝐻 and Inters. I think they were saving, so not as impressive, but hey, we'll give 𝐻𝐻 some credit. A couple nice shots out of him. But yeah, Imperial, when this squad all came together, it's gonna be supposedly the Brazilian last dance. Fallen, boltz, 𝐻𝐻, Vinny, FNX. Oh, FNX was actually still competing with the Imperial at this time. A lot of people said like, oh, the squad won't do anything. They're all washed. Ended up taking down some really solid teams. Qualifying for both majors. Just essentially overperforming from what they were expected, despite having, you know, like legendary players like Fallen on the squad. Expectations for this roster were not very high. It's supposed to be a last dance, not a very long formation of a squad. Kind of a last hoorah. And 𝐻𝐻, him potentially retiring here at the end of this 2022, beginning of this 2023, kind of feels like potentially good timing for him. I mean, if it was truly a last dance, they gave it 2 good shots at the majors and really didn't show anything that made it look like they could really win majors again. Like, they can definitely upset some good teams like Cloud9, even if they're deep in a playoff run. For some reason, Imperial just seemed to match up pretty good against Cloud9 in particular. Yeah, they ultimately ended up replacing FNX for 𝐂𝐻𝐻. I think they paid, I think 𝐂𝐻𝐻 was with MIBR still. They paid him a couple $100K. Maybe it was like $200,000 to buy him out, because they knew his firepower. Like, 𝐂𝐻𝐻 was still like fragging, like high rating. And JOTA, who's rumored to replace 𝐻𝐻, is kind of the same. Recently he's taken on the role as IGL for MIBR, but my understanding is he wasn't really IGL on much previously, but like a consistent fragger on the server. I could see him kind of fitting in for 𝐻𝐻 here. This game was when M4 still had 25 bullets, the laser beam. Valve finally kind of making those much needed adjustments to that gun. Ooh, nice movement there. It's kind of old, but his knees still work on the server. you guys think? Should Fer keep trying to compete? I think there were some issues in the later half of the year, which I think there were some articles posted where the team had to make some accommodations for Fer because he was thinking about hanging it up even earlier. Maybe just some IRL stuff going down. I mean, a nice aggressive peek from him on that take out inters, but you know, being a pro CSGO player can be kind of rough on the fam. Constant travel away from home. That's the main thing. That's kind of why they had the whole Last Dance idea in the first place. I mean, that it wouldn't kind of last forever. I think Fallen recently quoted saying maybe they'd give it like another year or something like that. Maybe a year and a half, but then he'd be done. I think it said something like that. This new lineup potentially with Fallen, Bolts, Vinny, JOTA, 𝐂𝐒𝐒. I think they could definitely make it to the North American RMR, even qualify for majors. Could they make deep runs? Maybe that's exactly what they need to, you know, be one of the best Brazilian squads on the scene. Definitely been a bit of a shakeup in the Brazilian scene on their squads in general coming into this new year. I think it's rumored that History from Arctic is gonna potentially be joining 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐒, and 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, the young Brazilian opper who was playing for 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, reportedly getting swapped. I think it's confirmed, swapped for Try, the South American opper who was playing with 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐄𝐒 on 00 Nation, but previously was on 𝐁𝐔𝐒𝐒, I think. Looks like they're making kind of a op swap. That should kind of shake things up for some of the top teams in this South American region. But 𝐂𝐎𝐿𝐍𝐄𝐒 from 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐒, that dude has had a hell of a end to 2022. He was looking like frankly like a top 10 rifler in the world in some of the games he was playing. I mean, whether or not he'll be able to keep up that consistency, perhaps a bit doubtful. I guess Furia still gotta be the top Brazilian dogs, at least for a while. 𝐂𝐎𝐶ERATO and Yuri, really solid duo tag team with the rifles. �SAFE, it's proven to be a pretty solid opper. I think �SAFE is one of the best like riflers that also ops, or oppers that, I mean, like you got like Simple and ZywOo obviously insane with the rifle as well. A lot of oppers, their rifling ability kind of falls flat. I feel like his opping is honestly like a little worse than his rifling. He's like a lower sensitivity opper. Furia's opper. But Drop looks like he's pretty solid on that Furia squad, and then Art is Art. Wait, does Fer clutch this up? Pros don't fake. Oh, and he got him through the smoke too. How? The wizard. Fer was looking like a magician that round. Give him the classic 7-1 score line with the Brazilian team. Except the Brazilian squad is on top. Slithering his way up mid here. A snake. When Fer is on, he's not a fun player to play against. Just finding all the timings. He didn't even grab that AK on Cat. Like, that's how good the A1S was at this time. 25 bullets. Honestly, at that time, I kind of preferred the A1S to the AK as well. I mean, now, coming to 2023, the AK is definitely the better weapon. But at the time, 25 bullet A1S, after all the, you know, the buffs to the A1S, it's like, oof, that gun was insane. Kind of brought in a pretty huge CT meta, which dominated most of the 2022, to be frank. I think with the new year, Anubis coming into the pool, op nerfs, A1S nerfs, could see a little bit more even round distributions coming into this new year potentially. Yeah, Imperial seems like they like to put Fallen at the like ticket position with the op and kind of have the rifle at window. Kind of how I like to op on Mirage, more like be like the A anchor. Opping window can get kind of clunky with underpass sometimes. First is showing how much like a solid rifler can kind of lock down that mid position. Definitely just more than one way to bake a cake here on this Mirage defense, that is for sure. But right now, Imperial just stomping them, man. This fermonster's got 14k, just tearing up the Russian squad. This Cloud9 squad was together for a while. I think they were the longest 5-man roster in like the top 10, top 20 for a long time. But now it's reported that they're going to be replacing Inter's Buster in his place, former Virtus Pro, former Outsiders Buster. They definitely have a very similar play style, so a little doubtful if it'll make a huge difference for that squad, honestly. But hey, sometimes just a little shakeup can end up being a big shakeup, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. I like this though. They decide to shift away, put no one mid, just stack A instead, make the CT defense a little more dynamic, flexible. Very patient round, like a minute and a half, nothing really happened. It's kind of the Cloud9 style sometimes. Then they're going to be forced and just sending it here with no time left. And yeah, Imperial's still able to win that round. It's hard to hit a site with like 15 seconds left. For this game, just showed like really good instincts. Like a lot of times taking a fairly passive role, like not really peeking much. But then like his timing on peaks was really solid. That was the first time his spray was a little off kilter. Does he go for a palace pop here? Yeah, he's like, Inters, I took you out once, I'll do it again. Getting the space and palace, CT side is so huge, but Inters, oh, that sneaky devil, able to chop him down. It's not expected for someone to like be jiggling that far back. That's what Inters is there for. Make sure you're not trifling. Make sure you're not disrespecting their turf. enjoys playing against this Cloud9, this former Gambit squad. Sometimes they just go at a snail's pace. I bet Nafany's probably boosted up on window right now. Shiro posted up with the op somewhere, waiting for a greedy peek. FNX was gonna go through that window, then he saw the home. He's like, oh, no, never mind. Never mind. The blue phosphor A1S with this butterfly that he has is like a nice combo. Is that a butterfly like sapphire or something? Or just a Doppler? It looks like a sapphire. Skin is hot. Yeah, man, I've made a name for myself. I can use the most whopped up skins out there. He's like, is Inter's really gonna do it again? He does. Inter's got the moves. Or it's like, get out of my turf. Get out. This is my palace, Inter's. It's taking this palace control does so much for your squad. Like, especially if the T's don't know that you have palace, it's like such a strong spot to retake A bomb site. Especially when the T's have to worry about Khan, they have to worry about jungle, they have to worry about A ramp on top of ticket. And they have to worry about palace too on top of that. It's like, sheesh. Becomes a really tough endeavor to try to take and hold the A bomb site after that. Here his position's definitely revealed, so it's not quite as powerful, but still all he has to do is find the timing. He's a big goo-wop, big chillin'. And he finally peaks the perfect time for just finding good timings, good intuition. Knowing exactly when to peak, when to deliver. Let's see how he performs here. Swap into this T side. That was trippy there for a second. Metallic gloves. Oof. I forgot he used this knife. This knife is sexy. Fer getting what, a triple, a quadruple there? Pow, 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 pow. Cloud9 going into Antwerp here. This team was like hyped to win it all. These are supposed to be the washed Brazilians they were playing against. But Fer's like, I'll show you who's washed. He's just giving them the business here. 2 hit. Oh shit! That third shot on inters. Like even the first 2, I was like, how did he headshot them both? But then the third one, he pulled off like the 1 tap, almost looked like a pre-fire. That was hot. So for kind of notice a lot of pro players, the spot they play on CT side is usually the spot they kind of default to on the T side as well. Trying to shut down any of that CT mid aggression. He knows Cloud9, they're going to be feeling pressure at this point. We've only got 3 rounds. We're ultimately having to be their flank watcher as well. He's taking his time on the lurk here. Is he gonna be too late? Just right on time. Here's one cat. Yeah, nice patient lurk. Imagine saving when you're down 3 to 15, or 3 to 14 at this point, 3 to 15 the next round. That takes some discipline. That is not a fun save to call. You're like, yeah, man, we just gotta hope we win 12 in a row here. Spoiler, Cloud9 does not win 12 in a row. No spoilers, Fish. What the heck, man? What are you doing? Hey, my channel, I do what I want. I appreciate all you guys watching. If you guys do enjoy this content, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Perhaps check out my Twitch channel, you know, links in the description. It has been interesting to watch this Ferd demo. A lot of just solid rifling, good intuition on knowing when to peek, when not to peek, hitting some crisp shots. He was such a big factor like in this game. Seemingly just like always finding the kind of the right timings on the against this young Russian squad. Cloud9. I think they were rated like super high coming into this event too. Like a lot of people thought like Antwerp was gonna be their time. But then when they kind of choked in Antwerp, people kind of started to jump off the Cloud9 hype train a little bit. They're like, I don't know, this squad continually kind of faltering in these big moments. All right, chat. That is the end of the game. Imperial just trounced Cloud9 16-3 there at the PGL Major Antwerp Legends stage. Thank you so much for watching. A lot more other POV VODs that I do on this channel. Definitely appreciate you watching, checking any of them out. I stream on Twitch as well. Live pro games. Feel free to comment there. Ask me anything. There's additional links in the channel if you want to support me, get some merch or whatever, but whatever. No, y'all don't care about that. I hope you have a great week, great month, great new year. Peace the heck out.